On Friday, Stuart, we were talking to British heavyweight boxer Dillian Whyte, who was talking about the apparent collapse of his proposed fight against Anthony Joshua. It would have seen Whyte get in the ring for the second time, of course, with Anthony Joshua. Thereafter, promoter Eddiehearn spoke to Boxing Social, and he opened up a bit more.
He's got the contract. Obviously, I'm not expecting him to come back today. Well, it'd be nice, but they need to review it and they need to come back really in 24, 48 hours. We've got 2 other fighters ready to go. We'd love it to be Dillian. I have my doubts, but if they want the fight, it's there.
Eddiehearn telling us, Simon, if they want the fight, it's there. Dillian Whyte joins us live. Dillian, have you got the fight? What's the latest?
Well, we had a contract. Obviously, the contract is with my lawyers, and my lawyers is obviously gone back to him. But you know, there's a lot of things that's been said publicly that's not happening when we negotiate. He's saying there's a lot of things that they put in the contract. First, he says it'll be a standard contract, but it's not. There's a lot of things in the contract that they didn't say that was going to be in it. You know.
Well, but the fact of the matter is, Dillian, you have this opportunity. I mean, Hearn is saying it's in your court now. So if you can agree to the various points in the contract, then the fight will be on, presumably.
Yeah, listen, it's like this. He said that we're going to send a simple contract, simple fee, simple this and that, and then they send a very complicated contract with a lot of hoops and a lot of hooks in the contract to hook me in, and I don't want that. I just want a simple contract, simple fight. Winner takes all, winner move on. You understand? Winner move on and have a big fight in Saudi Arabia. This fight for me is about the opportunity. It's not about the money. That's why I'm taking the fight for what the money they offer me is about the opportunity. But now they're trying to put rematch clauses and stuff in there that ties me up for up to a year, you know what I mean, which will mess everything up. So I'm not interested in that. I just want a straightforward fight. Winner moves on. That's it.
Elaborate on that. Winner moves on. What do you mean?
Winner moves on and get to fight Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, or Usyk, or whoever in Saudi. You know, I don't want to be I don't want to not Joshua and be waiting 6, 7, 8 months for a rematch tied up with I don't want to be in no legal environment and being tied up with that. You know, no. So we're fighting for the opportunity.
So elaborate on it for me if you can, Dillian. What you're not happy with that you need changed?
I'm not happy with the rematch clause for one. And then also there's other little things in there that you know, little small print things that would tie me in, that if I fight AJ and beat him, I can't just move on and go and fight in the big fights. I gotta wait for him. And there's things that they want, like they want the ability to change the date and the venue and stuff like that. I'm like, no, let's just have the fight and the 12th of August and get it on. And that's it.
But is it not all about the opportunity for you here? Is that not the important aspect for you?
Yeah. It is about the opportunity, but what I'm saying with the rematch involved, if I beat him, then I don't get an opportunity. I got to wait to fight Joshua again. You understand? But the opportunity is to, obviously, the big carrot and the big price is to fight Deontay Wilder in December in Saudi Arabia. And I would love to fight Joshua, beat him, and go on and fight Deontay Wilder and beat him, because these are 2 guys that have been trying to fight for the past 6, 7 years.
Does the rematch? I mean, we are in a better position, Dillian, than we were a week ago, weren't we? When they were ignoring, sending things to you, not responding to you guys, and not making themselves available, right? So we have moved on a little bit, and your guys. Does the rematch? You're talking about a rematch clause that indexes you to not being able to fight in Saudi, but wouldn't the same thing apply to Anthony then? If because the rematch clause is primarily for his benefit, right? If he loses, he wants to be able to come back and have another opportunity to win, obviously. And I'm assuming the rematch clause only works in his favour.
Yes.
Right, which is slightly unfair. And they'll say, well, that's the reality of the situation. We're the A side of the conversation. You'll get upset with that and say that's not the case. But if there is a rematch clause in place and you beat him, surely he can't fight Deontay Wilder in December either.
This is heavyweight boxing. You never know with the heavyweight boxing. Stranger things has happened. You've seen fights where guys is win are meant to move on, and the other guy, you know, the winner of me and Franklin was meant to fight AJ, and the loser Franklin ended up fighting AJ. So this heavyweight boxing, you can never bank on anything. So I'd rather just have no
rematch clause in there whatsoever. So that's what you'll negotiate. Is the date August the 12th, Dillian?
It's meant to be, but they're asking in the country for the ability to change the date and the venue as well.
Which you wanted, but to be fair, Dillian, you wanted that anyway, didn't you? Because you suggested that the date didn't suit you either, because it didn't enable you to have all the pay-per-view opportunities, because it's a dead time in the year.
Yeah. It's just, why would you do a fight in August? You know, that's holiday time. We bet we'll do it in September or something like that in a stadium. I'll be up for that, but I don't want to train for another 6-7 weeks and then they tell me last minute, we're changing the date for another 3 or 4 weeks time or 3 weeks. No, I want to know these things in advance.
Fair enough. Do we have a venue? Do we have a preferred venue?
I don't care. We fought O2 2015. Why are we fighting at O2 again? It's that we're much bigger fighters now, and the fight's a much bigger fight now than it was then. So we should be fighting somewhere else, you know, and have the opportunity to draw more fans in and to more people to come and enjoy the fight. It's a much bigger fight than it was a few years ago.
It's going to be difficult to do. If you do it in September, it's going to be difficult to do it in a football stadium because the football stadiums are going to be utilised. With the greatest respect, and you're probably not going to agree with me, I don't think you're a 94,000 sellout at Wembley. So you're in a difficult situation. So there's only a certain amount of environments. I mean, the bottom line is, Dillian, they're going to pay you a certain amount of money, which you're probably not going to be happy with. Have you moved to that point now where you've got a financial offer that you're going to accept?
I told you I accepted the offer they made before. You know the number.
Yeah, I know. I do know the number. So good lad. So isn't it now upon Jay and people to push back and get it into shape? Yeah.
I said it publicly. I accepted it. I said today, Eddie, the offer you sent, I've accepted that. But now they're going to change things. I'm trying to send something. But
that's a negotiation, Dillian. But where we are now is that we did our job on Friday. We brought Hearn from underneath a rock out back into the ether, or out of the ether back into the visibility, and we've now got a contractual situation going again. And your boys will whip it into shape and turn it back round again, right?
Yeah. We're ready to rock out. You know, like I said, I accepted all of what they wanted the first time. So let's get it on. I'm ready to rock. I'm training. You know, I'm feeling good. You know, I'm ready to go. Whatever.
So talk to us about the fight, Dillian. I mean, ultimately, where are you? I mean, I think you're less of a fighter than you've been previously. You're going to get cross with me and tell me that you're not, right?
I'm not going to get cross with you. There's no point in me arguing because you're going to say whatever you want to say.
No, that's right. It's an opinion. But the fight itself, right?
I don't think he's going to agree with you, Simon.
No, it's fine. But I'm going to frame a question on it, Jim. How do you see this fight being different from the first fight? Obviously, there's a lot of allegations about Anthony Joshua being gun shy and someone that doesn't want to get in range. How do you look at him now as opposed to how you looked at him when you fought in 2015?
I always look at the best in people and what they do. I'm not really paying attention to what he's doing now. I'm paying attention to the best version of him because I need to prepare for the best version because you never know someone's going to turn up on the day, you know. I might go in there and walk through him in a round. I might go in there and we have a hard 12-round fight. I might go in a fight where it's an up and down fight. I put him down, he put me down. We have to get up and fight. So I just try and focus on preparing for the best, sharpest version there is. A lot of people say, oh, he's this and he's that. But I'll tell you one thing now, though. I'm going to start pressing the fight from the first bell. I don't care. I've got nothing to lose. I don't care. I've got nothing, literally.
That's my question, mate, because that's the perception, isn't it? Jump on him.
I'm going to go and press the fight, and they know that as well. They know that because of the fact that I've gone back and accepted everything they wanted without no pushback or nothing. They're thinking, well, okay, he's a bit too up for this one, because normally anyone would be thinking that, you know what I mean? But I want to go to war. I want to fight the best people in my time. And that's it. He's one of the best guys around. I want to fight him again. I just want to go to war with him, to be honest. I want to go in there and have a good slugfest with him and knock him out. That's it. I don't care about trying to...
So, Dillian, if it's August the 12th, will you be ready for that day?
Yeah, I'll be ready. I'm training now. I'm out here training now. You know what I mean? I'm out here training. I feel good. You know, I'm whipping myself into shape. See my face.
Where are you at the moment? Where do we find you?
Florida.
I'm in Florida. See, my face is starting to get slim again. Look, I'm almost ready to go.
I see you. You know, you're looking good. You're looking pretty honed. What are we talking about then, Dillian? I mean, to cut to the chase, does it just come to a few changes in wording, a few changes in certain clauses, and this damn thing can happen on August the 12th? You fight Joshua.
A few things, but what I don't like is Eddie's out there talking nonsense, saying, we got two of us. The way he's trying to negotiate, he's trying to do a prison negotiation, basically saying, we got two other guys waiting to go. If they don't get back to us, we got two other guys waiting to go. If they don't do this, we got two other guys. Mate, no one cares. Just shut up. No one cares about who you got ready to go and this and the other. No, it's a proper fight. People want to see the fight. Let's get the fight made. Stop talking about all these other backup plans they got and this and the other.
Right, right.
It's a simple fight to make.
So what's the probability of it? 70-30? 80-20? What are we talking about?
AJ, you never know, man. I don't know. Like I said, AJ is a strange guy and he does strange things, so you never know.
Dillian, over in Florida, thanks for joining us this lunchtime here in the UK. I don't know what to make of it, do you? I mean...
Well, I think ultimately what Dillian's job, what Dillian wanted to achieve on Friday was to call Eddie Hearn out for doing what he did to anyone that, if I comment on Eddie Hearn, it's because I like Frank Warren. And the fact of the matter is Eddie Hearn is in this conversation, so I've got to comment on him. The allegation was made about the Fury-Joshua fight that I never heard back from Eddie Hearn. And these boys have had the same situation, i.e. that they've got a contractual situation and Dillian Whyte was being brought into pay, and they made an offer and they disappeared. What Dillian's achieved now, he's achieved Eddie Hearn, as I said, calling out from back underneath his rock and sending him another contract. So what Dillian's achieved this morning is putting it on notice. Who of us, honestly, wants to see a rematch clause? If Anthony Joshua gets beaten by Dillian Whyte, done, finished. That's your lot, right? But who's going to want to see a rematch clause? So what Dillian's been able to put on people's mindsets right now is there's a lot of fannying going on about, and really what it should be is a straight shootout. It's a shootout between Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua for who goes to fight in Saudi. If Anthony Joshua is going to recover from the malaise that he's suffered from for the last year or so, he needs to beat Dillian Whyte, not being given 2 opportunities to do it.
Yeah.
He's right, Dillian's right. So if
you're glad you're not involved in the world of boxing promotion, Stuart.
I often wonder, every time I come in, why does it take so long to get a fight on?
Good question.
Money and opportunity.
Solely money.
Because there's an argument to suggest that really and truly there's only one fight they all want, which is the fight in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. These are all risky fights that they get 5, 6, 7 million quid. By the way, pause and breath and think about that, 5, 6, 7 million quid. Or Anthony Joshua in this instance probably 18 million quid for this fight. Right? On that basis, but there's 50 million waiting for him in Saudi. So they're all looking at it going, do I really want to fight? Do I really? And the only guy that's backed himself right now, because all these guys are going, who do I not need to fight? Who can I avoid fighting? The only guy that's backed himself is Usyk. He's taken on Daniel. I'll fight him. Done. Fine. I'll fight him.
So we spoke earlier in the show about changing the landscape of sport with the Saudi money. Is this a direct example of that?
This is the Saudi money working in reverse and doing a detrimental thing, which is we don't want to fight anywhere else besides Saudi because the only people that pay us is Saudi. And that's the tragedy of it.
Well, I mean, is it clearer than mud? I think so. Slightly more clear this lunchtime. Nudging towards August the 12th. Whyte against AJ. But no doubt, a few hoops to jump through yet.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.